We all know that feeling. You're locked in, productive, on a mission, moving with the right energy. Then all of a sudden, you're looking at your phone and somehow Instagram finds its way open. Somehow you find yourself scrolling through the Explore feed, and then you see it. Even at a small thumbnail size, you see the figure of a curvy, feminine body, and your base instincts kick in. You start to feel a bit weaker. The lust starts to control you. And usually this is when you'll slip up and go back to the habits that you swore not to do 1,000 times in the past. And look, bro, you don't need me to tell you again all of the different reasons that this can ruin your life. It destroys your dopamine levels. You have 7 different tabs open watching 8 different videos, and now you have less motivation to go out there and meet real women. It leaves you feeling a bit tired, weak, and a bit ashamed. It can cause ED, and then you struggle to get it up when you're finally with an actual girl. Not to mention, it just makes us feel a bit creepy. And that is why in this video, I want to show you 5 strange strategies that I used to finally overcome the lust. And let's be real, this shit is powerful. I'll still catch myself from time to time scrolling through big booties on Instagram, even once in a blue moon where, my girl is traveling and I'm tired, it's late at night, the willpower is low. Once in a while, I'll even watch some porn. I'll keep it real. But it's not like before, man. This shit doesn't control me anymore. And now my dopamine levels have recovered. I actually enjoy living life more and getting outside and fucking being alive. When I'm communicating with other people, I don't feel even the slightest bit creepy. I have this natural confidence that comes out that used to be buried. And it is all because I did these 5 things. Number 1, no shame. So my question for you is this. Why do you do it? What is the reason that you slip up and watch these adult videos? Seriously, stop for a second and actually think about it. How come you keep doing this thing that you don't want to do? I know for me, I did it because it feels good. If I'm sitting home alone and I'm a bit bored, I can do something that gives me this reward. It's a fake reward that's short-lived, but still it does give me a reward. And if I'm being honest, it helped me hide from the lack of human connection. It helped me hide from the fact that I didn't have any real women in my life. And it was a Band-Aid solution that made me forget about it. I got that release. And that's why this seems impossible, because all of these things are base human instincts. It gives you pleasure. It helps you hide from pain. That's why basically every guy succumbs to this and has this same bad habit. It's not easy. It's not simple. That is the first step. You have to accept that, yes, I have this bad habit, but that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. I don't have to feel so ashamed every time I do it. Of course, I'd want to stop, but when you have that shame attached to it, it just tends to make it. It's like there's this big black hole. There's something wrong with you. It makes it even harder to deal with it. Number 2, the $100 fee. So this is the thing that allowed me about 7 years ago to have a definitive end to this bad habit. This is when I finally kicked this shit for the first time. I told my buddy, the big homie Dave, y'all have seen him in the videos. I told him, bro, each time I jerk it, I'm going to PayPal you $100. And he said, okay. Obviously he's gonna be cool with that, right? He said, okay. And the key is to do this with someone who you can be that open and honest and transparent with. And you might think, yeah, but even if I do it, I could just hide it from my friend. Like, this isn't gonna be that effective. And I don't know what the reason is, but I had no urge at all to hide this from Dave. And the funny thing is, I didn't have to pay him a single fucking penny. When I told him this, every time that I'd be alone thinking about, taking out the laptop and getting started, I was like, I don't want to lose $100. This is an easy decision. Because what you're doing is you're attaching pain, the pain of losing money, to this habit. And that pain of losing money is oftentimes a lot bigger of a motivator than the pleasure you're going to get, that 5 seconds of pleasure you're going to get at the end when you release. And I already know there's going to be some comments. Bro, you told us that you've slipped up a few times since then. So did you pay your buddy for that? The answer is no, I did not. After the first 6 months being clean from that lust, it was different. That was the point, which no longer did it control me anymore. So I'm sorry, Dave, but you ain't getting any money. Number 3, masculine pride. So I want you to envision the following scenario, and this is probably a scenario that you've experienced before. You get the urge, you open up your laptop, you even open up several tabs and you start the process. But then some willpower inside of you says, no, not today. You close everything down and you don't do it. You don't give in to the urge. The question is this: 1 hour later, how do you feel about yourself compared to if you had not stopped? For me, it's clear as day. If I fap and I succumb to the lust, I feel like a piece of shit later. I feel ashamed of myself, even if I'm trying not to. I feel low energy. I just feel bad, not happy, no dopamine. But those times that I catch myself and I stop, I try and remind myself an hour later, how am I feeling? And I feel proud. I feel like, man, I had strong willpower. I stayed true to something that I'm working on that's challenging for me. I feel like a fucking man. You need to start to do this. You need to start to stop yourself in your tracks and then take a note of how you feel an hour later, because this is going to start to build a new type of momentum in your life where you start to feel proud that you can actually control this thing that you weren't sure you could control. Like, those small wins can actually be huge wins, because as you put together a string of them, it's going to change your identity, how you look at yourself. And that is fucking powerful. It's going to give you confidence when you're talking to women, when you're starting new business ventures. You're going to feel like you're the type of guy who can get shit done, who has real discipline and self-control. Now, real quick, something else that's a complete game changer is this right here. Because you see, if you're able to introduce new positive habits into your life, it starts to build that momentum of this new identity of a man who actually is in control and who is doing things that are good for him rather than are bad for him. And one of the most healthy habits that I have each day is having a scoop of greens plus test powder in a big glass of water as soon as I wake up. Basically, this combines the top 2 supplements that every man should be taking into one delicious green apple flavored scoop per day. It's got heaps of organic greens to support your overall health and longevity, a powerful probiotic blend to support gut health and nutrient absorption, and the X factor is the ashwagandha and tongat ali, the top 2 compounds that have been proven to naturally increase testosterone levels in men. Basically, it's a super simple way to have an immediate positive impact on your health, your energy levels, your performance in the bedroom, in the gym, everywhere. If you want to try it out, you can use that coupon code right there to get 10% off your entire order. Just click that first link in description or go to gains.club. Let's get back to the video. Number 4, this is a wild one. I'm going to warn you, don't get exposed. So you know how it can seem like your phone is listening to you, and perhaps there's some truth to that. If you're talking about, healthy dog food, all of a sudden I'm scrolling through Instagram and I'm getting these dog food advertisements. I think it probably has more to do that you search for something on Google and now, Google can share that information with advertisers. But the point is, there's definitely a chance that they can be listening through the microphones and watching you through the cameras even. So every time you sit down to fap, I want you to imagine that it's being recorded, that someone is recording that video of you, hunched. Think about how we look when we're doing this. We're like hunched over, probably a disgusting look on our face, playing with ourselves. That has got to be, imagine someone recorded all of that and they leaked it to your friends, to girls that you're talking to your parents, to the public. It got posted on Instagram. Just hours of footage of you doing that. How ashamed, how embarrassed would you be? I told you this one was going to be strange, but I came up with this concept in my mind and I implemented it because I understand that psychologically that fear of public embarrassment and shame, that's an extremely powerful motivator. A lot more powerful than the 3 seconds of pleasure at the end. And so I started doing that and I realized that would stop me in my tracks. Like, once I even played this scenario out of my head, as strange as it and unrealistic as it might be, I was not in the mood anymore. I wanted nothing to do with it. Seriously, next time you're about to slip up, imagine that it's about to be recorded and that could be leaked. It could happen. And number 5, stay the fuck off of Instagram and TikTok. So recently I made an agreement with my wife that whenever she catches me on my phone just scrolling through Instagram, and whenever I catch her on her phone just scrolling through Instagram, I immediately call her out and say, get off, stop scrolling. And she does the same thing to me, and we have to put the phone down in that moment. And it's been a game changer because even when she's not around, when I start scrolling, I can hear her voice saying, what the fuck are you doing? Get off your phone. And then I'll put it down and I'll stop. But let's be real. Instagram and social media, that is where we get triggered. That is where we see the women dressed with not too much clothes on, with really amazing bodies and really attractive faces. And that's like the trigger that ties this whole lust cycle together. It's very different than when you see a hot girl at the gym or at the grocery store, for example. In those moments, assuming that you're not partaking in these bad habits, it's almost like this jolt of energy, like this natural bit of excitement that we get inside of us. It's this base instinct that's a good thing, because that can motivate us to go talk to the girl and find our wife and procreate. This is biological. But now it is manufactured hundreds, maybe thousands of times per day as you're scrolling through your phone. And that is not natural. And that fucks us up big time. So here's my challenge to you. Right now, open up your phone, go to your settings, go to the screen time app. Then from there, see how long you're spending on Instagram. My average is like an hour, 20 minutes a day right now. I'm gonna go in, do this with me, and I'm gonna set a daily limit for 30 minutes. That is more than enough time for me to do my business activities, to share out the stories or the posts I need to share for my businesses. Like, there's no fucking excuse. There's no reason I need to be on there more than that. It's just doom scrolling. It's just seeding the lust deep into the fucking brain cells inside of me. And if you're serious about leveling up in every aspect of your life, then you need to watch this video next. It is about the 7 steps to going ghost mode. Going ghost mode is what allowed me to finally actually change the trajectory of my life. Click there to watch it now. If you're new to the channel, click down there to subscribe, as I drop 2 new videos every single week and you don't want to miss them. I'll talk to you in the next video. Stay beastly.